No one offers us refuge. The elderly Navajo elder showed up at the rancher's threshold with her pair of girls. The gale screamed across the canyon like a battered wolf, hauling the bite of frost in hushed waves over the territory that used to be Navajo ground. A solitary shack hunkered at the base of the ridges, its timber sides creaking beneath the fury of the blizzard. Within, a fellow called simply Jack Harlan lounged by the hearth, his six-shooter laid on the bench, his gaze locked on the blaze as if hunting for a piece of himself he'd misplaced long ago. The conflict had stripped him bare, his kin, his acres, even his reason for breathing. Now he drifted like a specter amid the breathing, a herder without herd, a shooter without quarrel. He'd figured he'd witnessed it all, until the rap echoed. At first, it was soft, like the gust probing the planks. Then it struck once more, firmer this time. Jack hauled up, palm drifting to the butt of his iron. When he swung the door wide, the vision out there pinned him in place. Three shapes huddled in the drifts, an aged Navajo matron shrouded in a frayed hide wrap, her silver locks dusted with flakes. And flanking her, two youthful lasses with flowing ebony plates and azure stones shimmering against their sun-kissed hides. They held their tongues at the outset, just lingered there, the whirlwind eddying round them, their exhales blooming into vapor in the icy breath. Jack's fingers clenched the jam. He knew the tales the pioneers spun, that harboring Navajo spelled doom, that they'd fleece you dry or carve your gullet while you slumbered. But the matron's stare, it wasn't the glint of a pilferer. It weighed heavy with weariness, resolved in something profounder, a wordless entreaty. The senior spoke in halting tongue, her timbre coarse as shale. "We beg haven, just till morning." Her pitch held firm, but Jack caught her palms quivering from the chill. The girls held their chins high, fierce, denying any frailty, even as their skirts plastered sodden to their thighs from the slush. He wavered. Every fiber screamed to bar them. He dodged strife too damn long. But something in their bearing, in how they bore the tempest's spite, roused a buried spark in him. He eased back. "Step inside," he grumbled. The matron dipped her head once, guiding her girls through. The hearth's glow kissed their features, etching stark furrows of toil and grace forged in endurance. Jack passed them quilts wordlessly. The elder's glance darted to his sidearm on the bench, then lifted to him. "You dread us," she stated plain. He offered no retort. The bolder of the pair, the one with keener gaze, broke the hush at last. "You're the shadow tracker they whisper of, the rider who stalked Navajo in days gone." The air thickened. Jack's jaw set. "That was ages past," he countered. The matron eyed him keen. "And now? You dwell with your phantoms," she breathed soft. He turned aside, the ember's light tracing the welts on his fists, the void in his eyes. Beyond the walls the gale howled fiercer. Time slipped by before voices stirred anew. The young ones clustered near the flames, murmuring low in their native lilt, while the elder sat statue still, her focus pinned on Jack. "Why this spot?" he ventured at length. The outpost was nearer. She shook her head slow. "The trooper seized it all, torched our village. My boys vanished. These two? No hearth remains. Just this," she waved toward the barren sweep past the pane. "We tread till the soil bids us halt." Jack studied them. 3 remnants of a folk the globe schemed to wipe clean. He mulled his own ruins, his own scorched yesteryears. Hell, maybe they weren't worlds apart. He sloshed them Joe, clumsy-like, his motions rigid. The littlest girl quirked a shy grin, catching him off guard. "Pale folk shares bitter brew," she quipped light. Jack let out a brief chuckle. For the first stretch in ages, it rang true, not hollow. As the logs popped, an unvoiced accord wove through the room, a brittle accord knit from mutual scars. But the calm shattered. Far off, the muffled thud of mounts pierced the roar. Jack surged up, lids narrowing. "Horsemen," he hissed. The matron's features steeled. "Patrol," she warned. "They trail us." Jack's innards nodded. "If they sniff Navajo on my claim, it'll be my hide swinging too." He snatched his carbine, edged to the portal, and peered into the milky abyss. If they ride up, he growled, "Hunker silent, not a twitch." The matron's grip snagged his cuff. "You'd shield us," she probed.
Jack locked stares. "Ain't nobody earned freezing out there," he rasped. Out in the void, the posse drew nigh. By the hour the troopers hit the shack, the squall had gulped the horizon whole. Flurries lashed slantwise, blurring riders and beasts to wraiths. Jack strode out to face 'em, long arms slung loose over his elbow. "Howdy, fellas," he drawled steady. Their chief, a fresh-faced captain with flinty glare, squinted beyond him to the dim interior. "Hunting a band of Navajo," he clipped. "Any strays crossed your path?" Jack's mug stayed stone. "Haven't clocked a whisper. This blow's been a devil since sunup." The captain sized him up, doubt smoldering in his squint. "Obliged if we nose around?" he pressed. Jack's thumb grazed the guard, but he mustered a slack grin. "Be my guest, though you'll numb your lobes before you turn up squat." The troopers faltered, one hacking into the powder. After a tight beat, the captain hawked and wheeled his mount. "Spot 'em, holler," he barked. Jack merely bobbed his head. Once they melted into the haze, he lingered out there, ages, wind gawing at his cheeks, before slipping back in. The matron and her girls poised mute by the blaze, their eyes brimming queries he left hanging. "Cleared out," he said flat. The elder loosed a breath, frame slumping at last. The sisters traded glances, eased, thankful. Jack decanted a shot and dropped into a chair, hard. "Dawn means you shove off," he added. "They'll loop around." The matron inclined slow. "We'll press on," she allowed. "But heed this, not every soul of your breed would have stood as you did tonight." Jack hitched a shoulder. "Ain't crownin' we saint." The matron's mouth tugged faint. "Maybe no, but grace offsprings from unlikely palms." Come first light, the gale relented, draping the sprawl in hush and hoarfrost. The girls ventured out, hems snapping in the keen draft, their sight sweeping the boundless white. Jack thrust him rations and a battered pelt jacket. "This'll serve you better than me," he murmured. The elder held his gaze, long. "Our king won't forget you, rancher." He waved it off. "Skip the fuss. Just keep drawing breath." They slipped away soundless, their outlines dwindling till they faded into the crags. Jack framed the threshold long after, embers guttering at his back, the realm scoured pristine but sharper in the bite. Yet for the first spell in years a flicker warmed his ribs, not the burn of rot gut, but the raw fact that even in dirt raised on slaughter and deceit, compassion carved a niche. That season whispers flew of a rancher who had granted haven to an aged Navajo matron and her girls when the rest turned blind. Some branded him daft, others damned, but the ones who grasped the frontier's grit knew true. In a realm where no one lent refuge, Jack Harland had, and that tipped the scales.